Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening Sunday morning service. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Lay all your fears and all your doubts aside. Let go of all the hurt you hold inside. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Can you feel the love of all who've gathered round? You are worthy of this gift of love right now. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Well, who'd have known that who you are is enough? And who'd have known that you could be so loved? Well, we knew, now you know. Yes, we knew, now you know. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. You are welcome here, just the way you are. You are wanted here, so open up your heart. Yes, open up your heart and feel the love we have for you here at Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening, a beloved community reaching out to you from our heart to yours, our homes to yours. And we are so glad that you're here this morning. We have a video coming up in just a moment of announcements, but I would like to give a little airtime to a couple of things so you'll hear it twice in case you check out during the announcements. I hope you don't do that, but sometimes people do. They're like, oh, we'll skip this part. Don't skip that part. It's great. But I just want to make sure that you know, today, after service at 1 o'clock, we have a workshop by Reverend Renee LaBoa. And we did a wonderful interview this week about it. And I was like, well, what if you don't like to journal? And she goes, well, it's not really journaling. It's more telling your story and getting into the value and the gift of what your story has to tell you. And I think that would really help you live in your what if in a positive direction, which is what I'm talking about today. So that's via Zoom today at 1 o'clock. There is a suggested donation of $25, but as always, we say pay more if you're led to, less if you need to. And those options are on our website. As soon as you sign up on the website, awakeningcarolina.org, you're sent a link to join the Zoom. So let's see, what else? Also, we have a wonderful newsletter. So please take advantage of the fact that in each week's newsletter, my wife, Angie Celeste Snow, takes a lot of time and love to put into this newsletter. And inside that is every link you need for the service, for services, for gatherings, for classes, or anything else. But so much more. It's a work of art each week. So check that out. And this week, we had in there a poll asking you how you feel about some small gatherings. We want to start start having some small gatherings and we're very excited to take some steps back towards being together in person. So make sure you check that out. We also have the poll placed on social media as well. So check that out and let us know your thoughts on that. And watch the video. There's lots more in there. So let's take some deep breaths. Let's open our mind and our heart to receive and to be a blessing this day. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening. I am opening. My heart is ready to receive. We are opening. We are opening. Our hearts are ready to receive. We are opening. We are opening. Our hearts are ready to receive. Take it in like a prayer. I am opening. A prayerful intention. Opening. My heart is ready to receive. I am opening right here, right now, to a greater idea, a greater degree of living. I am opening. I am open. I am willing to live life, to live it to the fullest, to be an example of what's possible when love leads the way. I am open to allow this divine love to move through me, express as me, to pave the way before me. And so I surrender into that power and presence within me that goes before me, and I know it goes before me to clear the way, absolving anything unlike love, anything unlike peace or joy or happiness, dissolved and obliterated by the power of love right here, right now. So I breathe and I relax as I know this is the truth of my being, the truth for each of us ever and always, that we are never alone, that we are connected to this divine source of all life. And so I just say, use me, God, beloved presence. Move through me as I move out of the way with my small self. Use me, move me, express as me. And so as we are steeped in this awareness this morning, I know for the Carolina Center for Spiritual Awakening, our beloved community, that we just allow this to be the truth of our lives, the truth of the service, that it is an unfolding evolution of good. Thank you, God. I'm open to it. I'm expressing as it. I live this. I expect this. I am this. And it is so. And from this place, I just say, lead me. Lead me. Lead me, love, lead me on. When I'm weary, make me strong. Lead me, love, help me grow. Lead me, love, lead me on. Sing that with me. Lead me, love, lead me on. When I'm weary, when I'm weary, make me strong. Make me strong. Lead me, love, help me grow. Lead me, love, lead me on. Once more, lead me, love, lead me on. When I'm weary, make me strong. Lead me, love, help me grow. Lead me, love, lead me on. Lead me on.
Hello, my beautiful CCSA community. This is Annie Lewis coming to you from Asheville, North Carolina with today's reading. And I chose a reading from this March 2019 issue of Science of the Mind for a couple reasons. One, this is the magazine that was given to me the first time I came to CCSA, so thank you. And two, I'm doing it from Friday, March 29th, 2019. That's the reading. Because this is a day that particularly marked the ending of one chapter and the start of a new, and with that came my involvement with CCSA, I think that week or the following week. So, and I open it up and it's called The Vulnerability of Growth. So looking back 2 years, it's a beautiful thing to read. So anyway, here we go. The Vulnerability of Growth. We are a becoming people. We are a growth people. We are an expanding people, says Raymond Charles Barker. The latent divinity within us stirs our imagination, and because of its insistent demand, impels and compels our growth. Ernest Holmes and Willis Kinnear from the Practical Application of Science of the Mind. And here's the reading. Every 1.5 years, a hermit crab is basically forced to grow. It must molt, shed its exoskeleton, and wait for a new shell to harden. Before the molt, the crab stores food and water, sustenance it needs for the process. Then it seeks protection, usually under the sand in a dark, safe place. It is here that it sheds their exoskeleton. However, it is at this point that the crab is most vulnerable because it is paralyzed until it regains muscle control. During the process, the crab is extremely vulnerable to predators while its new exoskeleton hardens. The hermit crab provides some mighty lessons when it comes to growth. Growth, whether we are dragged kicking and screaming or eagerly seeking it, leaves us in a state of vulnerability. Change carries with it the elements of the unknown, and that can be scary. But if we have done our spiritual work, we remember that we can draw upon the richness of this work to nourish us throughout the growth process. We can surround ourselves with the people who fully support and champion our growth, providing us a safe space in which to shed our old skin and begin a new state of being. Interestingly, the hermit crab eats its old exoskeleton, absorbing all the nutrients stored there. We too can use the lessons of our past to create a greater future. We too can use the lessons of our past to create a greater future. And here's the affirmation. I know that even in my most vulnerable state, I am protected. I welcome growth and all of the wonderful changes that come with it. I'm going to say that one more time. I know that even in my most vulnerable state, I am protected. I welcome growth and all the wonderful changes that come with it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. It's Kate. I hope you've enjoyed our series on Women's History Month. And I've decided that I wanted to end the month talking about a woman by the name of Holly Near. And Holly Near is a songwriter and an activist and a woman who works for social change and environmental justice. And she's also known all over the world. I wanted to start by just letting you hear a little tiny piece of her music that I think has been pretty important to me when I listen to this song. So take a second to listen to her, and I'll show you a picture of her.
Something changes in me when I witness someone's courage. They may not know I'm watching, and I may not let them know that something changes in me that will last me for a lifetime, to fill me when I'm empty and rock me when I'm alone. Something changes in me anytime there's someone singing all the songs I've never forgotten. Let our voices sing them strong. Something changes in me anytime there's someone standing for the right to be completely all the good things that we are.
Holly Near has been a person in my life who has definitely created changes. And I feel a lot of her music has helped me become who I am and be more aware of things within the social movements, environmental justice, way back when we were still standing against nuclear power. She's been a voice for change for about 45 years, if not longer. Raised in California, worked in film and TV and on Broadway, and then she eventually just chose to become a social activist and a singer. She's toured nationally, internationally, globally, and writes and sings songs that speak to the issues that concern the struggles and our joys of everyday life. She's been recognized many times for her work in social justice, including honors from the ACLU, the National Lawyers Guild, the National Organization for Women, the National Academy of Recording Arts and Sciences. Holly was also named Ms. Magazine's Woman of the Year and has received the Legends of Women's Music Award. She's often cited as the founder of the women's music movement, and she's not only led her way for outspoken women in the music world, but has also worked for peace and for multicultural consciousness. Through her long career, she's worked with a wide array of musicians, including Pete Seeger, Ronnie Gilbert, Arlo Guthrie, Mercedes Sosa, Bernice Johnson Reagan, Bonnie Raitt, Jackson Brown, Joan Baez, Phil Oakes, Harry Belafonte, and many more. She has now become, or is also, a spokesperson within the social change music movement. During her time on the road, luminaries in folk music have noticed how her presence sets the tones for the places in which she performs. As Holly has observed, music can influence choices for better or worse. A lullaby can put a troubled child to sleep, but music can put a whole nation to sleep. A marching band can send our children off to war, but it can also have everyone laughing, dancing, and loving as to lead off a gay pride parade. Holly finds herself in a role at this point in her life that her amazing journey has prepared her to fulfill the significance of her work over her iconic status. Once flattered, amazed, and centered, she graciously assumes the honoring that comes with time, proud to represent, through her voice and her music, the movements that are so fundamental to her spirit. I would say that I literally grew up on Holly's music, and I hope that you'll learn more about her, and that let me know if you want to hear any of her songs, okay? Be well. I hope everyone's doing really well, and I look forward to the time when we're together again. Namaste.
What if? What if? What if I fail? What if I get hurt? What if I'm afraid? What if you fail, but what if you succeed? What if you get hurt, but what if you are loved beyond measure? What if you're afraid, but wait, what if you're brave? What if you're brave? What if you're brave enough to direct your what if in the direction of infinite possibilities instead of impending doom? That's our choice. Our choice before us all the time is, where are we directing our what if? Because what if can be an amazingly empowering, infinite possibility statement, or it could be a terrifying, paralyzing, overwhelming statement, depending on the direction you're pointing your what if, your IF, your intentional forecast. What are you intentionally forecasting? Or are you being in that place of impending doom? So I want to talk about being in a place of intentionally forecasting, obviously being in the place of empowering our what if. I love that Kate spoke this morning about Holly Near. I too feel like I grew up with Holly Near. I love this woman, and I love her music. And I love, there's a song that she has that says, I'm willing. It's called I'm Willing. And she says, I'm open and I'm willing. To be hopeless would be strange, and it would dishonor those who go before us. I am open and I'm willing. To be hopeless would be strange and would dishonor those who went before. So lift me up to the light of change. One of my favorites. So let's be open and willing to direct our what if in the right direction this morning and in our lives. What if? What if some courageous and determined women, since we're talking about women's history this month, let's look at that. What if some determined and courageous women decided not to place their energy in realizing their deservability and their right to vote, their right to equal pay, their right to serve in the military, their right to equal opportunities in education? What if those courageous and determined women that went before us didn't do that? But instead, they placed their what if in what's possible, and they went after it. That's what I want us to enroll in this morning, is going after our what if, going after it, going after it. I remember in 1989, the letters DIY didn't really mean a lot. There weren't a lot of DIY things out there like there are now, do it yourself. And there definitely wasn't there were not a whole lot of people out there doing it yourself in the world of music. That's when I first started out, recording my first CD, tape in 1989. And most people back then waited until you got a record deal or you didn't do a recording at all. And I thought, no, I don't want to wait. I want to do it. I want to do it. And so I had some songs. I didn't have a full album, but I had some songs. I had some money. I didn't have the full amount, but I had some money. And I started, and it came together. I started, and it came together. That's what I want to talk about, focus on for just a second. How when we step out to meet the universe rushes in to meet us. Starting and watching it come together. I remember being in the studio and hearing that playback for the first time when all the musicians came together. As they were in my head, all of a sudden they were in the speakers. And I was like, this is amazing. This is amazing. But what if I had stopped there because I thought, what if no one likes it? What if it's not good enough? What if this is just not what I need to be doing? What if? And I can assure you that 14 or so CDs now later, I still have that opportunity every single time I go into the studio to check my what if at the door and make sure it's not going in that direction and make sure instead it's going in the direction of, what if this is the best thing I've ever done? What if this is the thing that gets someone through a divorce or coming out or living their authentic life in another way? Or what if this is the meditation CD that helps someone recover from heart surgery or cancer? What if this is the unifying anthem that brings humanity together? Who knows, right? I check my what if at the door in the studio and in life, making sure it's going in the right direction. Another story that comes to mind when I think about just moving ahead in the direction when you're not quite sure and checking that what if. I remember that same time period, 1989-ish, maybe even a little before. It might have been before I had my first recording, I think it was. And I called up this place that had local music. And I was so nervous and so intimidated, but I called, my voice was shaking, my knees were knocking, and I called and I said, hi, I'm Christy Snow, and I'm an acoustic singer-songwriter, and I'd like to, and that's all I got out, and the guy abruptly and rudely says, call me back in the year 2000. Well, the year 2000 in 1988 or 89 felt like a sci-fi movie. It felt so futuristic, so far, another lifetime away, right? And I remember sitting there cross-legged in the floor with my guitar in my lap and the phone in my hand, crying, sobbing, thinking, why bother? I let myself be in that for just a minute until that determination kicked in, and I was like, no, you know what? I will call you back in the year 2000, buddy, and you're going to be sorry that you didn't listen to me, but whatever. I took whatever it took to get me into my power, right? And in that moment, it was, Actually, I did call him back in the year 2000, by the way. And it was a different owner at that point, by that point. But it was the same bar, and they were still open, still doing live music. And by that point in my career, I was able to call up any place in Charlotte and say, hey, I want to come play, or in a lot of other states and cities too, and say, I want to come play. And they would be like, oh, yeah, we're happy to have you. And they'll pay me well and all this stuff. And it was just so interesting to make that call in 2000 and say, yeah, I'd like to come and perform for you. And they were like, oh, we would love to have you, Christy. When can you come? And I was like, I don't know. I'll think about it and get back to you. I really just wanted to make the phone call. But being in that energy of, I'll show you because I'll show me. I'll show me that I'm worth it, that I deserve it, that I can do this. Not in an ego place, but in a, God's with me, so who can be against me? Nobody. May just not be my time yet to play that place in 1988. And that's okay. I've played many more places and many, many, many great memories. And I'm grateful that I didn't let that stop me. I think about my first cross-country tour. Since we're on the music theme, I'll go with that too. My first cross-country tour, I had 6 weeks, and I knew I wanted to have 6 churches anchoring those weekends. And I had booked the 6 churches, and I'd booked some of the other dates for the weekends, a Friday here, a Saturday there. But I didn't have it all put together. But I had the vision, I had the intention, I had the prosperity consciousness enough, not as much as I do now and not as much as I would have liked to then, but I had enough prosperity consciousness to believe it was possible, to believe that I would do it and not be stranded somewhere without money, but would be able to make money and be able to meet my needs and then some. And I was able to do that cross-country tour. And the point is, I didn't have all the dots, all the T's crossed and I's dotted. I didn't have all the blanks filled in yet. A lot of times we wait on our direction of our what if until we think we have it all figured out. I didn't have that first recording figured out. For that matter, I didn't even have the last recording figured out. I wrote the title track on the steps of the studio on day 2 of recording. This is not just an encouraging speech to tell you to live by the seat of your pants. That's not what I'm telling you. But I am saying that if in those moments you find yourself living by the seat of your pants, taking that leap of faith when you don't have it all figured out, trust that the universe is what's letting the seat of your pants fly, right? Trust that there is this, above everything else, there is this connection, this communion with the divine, this presence that dissolves everything in its path for your highest and greatest good. And so everything doesn't have to be all figured out for us to move forward. It doesn't have to be. And if we wait for it to be all figured out, then we keep waiting and we keep waiting and we keep waiting. I've asked my friend Jana Stanfield, who is an amazing singer-songwriter, for permission to share a video with you after this talk. And the video is a song of hers called If I Were Brave. And I encourage you to go back later and watch the service again and pause on this video so that you can read all of the captions. They come pretty quickly, but I thought I would read some of them to you. She shows all of these people telling their brave story. People who weren't afraid, or maybe they were, and they did it anyway. People who maybe thought they would fail, but they did it anyway. They maybe thought they'd be hurt, but they did it anyway. Maybe thought they'd be embarrassed, but they did it anyway. And just before I read this, I'd like to just point out too that when we're talking about history, Women's History Month and the brave women of history, I love that Reverend Michelle Savaco last week. She talked about a relative who was brave. Right? It doesn't have to be these icons that we've put up on pedestals that we've never met, Mother Teresa or whomever it may be. That brave woman is you. Even for you guys out there, tapping into that divine feminine that allows us to be open and receptive to life and to move and to be at our highest frequency. And so here are some of the women from Jana's song, some of the people, most of them were women. Rewatch and pause to take a picture of this story now, okay? So you can take it all in. But started karate lessons at age 54, one woman said. Bought a one-way ticket to Hawaii. Next person said, learned to swim at 44 and to enter a triathlon. How about that? Wanted to do a triathlon, so they learned to swim and signed up. At 34, another person said, vowed to never love again, only to be married at 36. Started ballet lessons at 40. Another person at 40 learned guitar and began performing within 2 weeks. Wow. Another story, went to Tanzania to volunteer at an orphanage, and that was on the heels of being laid off. What am I going to do? Well, where can I love? Where can I serve? Where can I be? Next person, I survived suicide at 33 and I'm now helping reduce mental illness stigma. Started a new career at 66, one woman said. Or how about this one? Released 45 pounds. That's a brave, courageous story right there. Conquered my fear of heights. This woman said she conquered her fear of heights and crocodiles, and there's a picture of her letting go of a rope swing into the water. Moved to Europe at 40 with 2 suitcases and a smile to reinvent my entire life, one person said. Another one, learned to ride a Harley at age 50. Next, became a therapy clown. Started a vet tech school at 50. Left my corporate job to support and fund women-owned businesses. Another one, worked tirelessly. I love this one. Worked tirelessly to heal my woundedness and become a healer. Think about that. Your what if doesn't have to be you climbed Mount Kilimanjaro, although that's amazing, and I know some people have done that. But it could be you work tirelessly to heal your woundedness and to awaken to your own spiritual magnificence. What will I do? What would I do today if I were brave, the song says. But then at the end it says, what will I do? Because I am brave. What will I do? Because I am brave. So this what if idea, this being brave, if you're already doing it, if you have places in your life at least where you can look back where you've been celebrate that. If you've never started your brave journey, start it right now. Start it by identifying what that means to you, to be brave, to step out and to step into life in a fuller, freer way. What does it mean to you? Identify what it means, and then take a micro movement. You've heard me talk about micro movements. That's just, what can I do right now? What can I do today? If I choose to be brave, if I choose to place my intentional forecast into infinite possibility. So I have some questions that I think will be prompts for you. So here's your class portion of the talk, if you choose to. And you can literally take out a piece of paper and a pen and write down some prompts that will help you to really just dig in there and see what wants to come out for you. And this is inspired by my friend Clara Bayer, her book called What If. It's a brand new release on Amazon. It's called What If by Clara Bayer. Bayer like the aspirin, Bayer. And here are just a few of the questions in this wonderful book. I call it a workbook for life. First one, ready? A genie pops up and grants you one wish. The stipulation is this, that what would bring you complete fulfillment and happiness? So your one wish has to bring you complete fulfillment and happiness. Prompt or question number 2. Earth, about to be destroyed. It's being evacuated by aliens, taking us to another place like Earth, and you can take something. What would you need to survive and to thrive? Number 3, writing a letter to your family and your closest friends to leave in your will. What would you like for them to know about you? What would you like for them to know about you? Number 4, what if you could have anything in the world? What if you could have anything in the world? What would it be? And number 5, what if you won the lottery? What if you won the lottery? How would your life be different? And what would you do? How would your life be different? And what would you do? And so these questions, allow yourself to sink into asking them and be open to where they might reveal something that you're not doing, that you have a heart's desire to do. And also let them reveal where you're already doing some of these things, and congratulate yourself for that. People have asked me a lot of times, if you won the lottery, would you still be doing what you're doing? Absolutely. I'd just continue to do it in a bigger and bigger way. If I had more resources to spend in that arena, then I would just do what I'm doing in a bigger way. But I love my life. And doing exercises like this help me realize, like, okay, what would I need to completely feel happy and fulfilled? And where am I needing to reach out and cultivate more of that in my life? Or here's one question that's not in her book, that's mine, my personal favorite. And that is, if time and money were no obstacle, what would you do? You can use that question up beside any decision in life, a relationship decision, a job, a vacation, a roommate. Doesn't matter. If time and money were not an obstacle, because you see, there's no time and space in the mind of God. Time and money are man-made constraints. So if we give ourselves that just a momentary pause, that willing suspension of disbelief, right? That willing suspension of disbelief for just a minute, and say, okay, if time and money were not an obstacle, what would I choose? And then what you'll find is that is your gut read. That's where your intuition has been leading you all along. Trust that. Trust that. Trust that, because you see, we have this co-creative dance that we're doing with the universe. That universe that has our seat of the pants, that universe that is taking care of pulling us forward and expanding us onward. From Science of Mind reading, I love the quote that said, the time is now in the places where you are. The time is now in the places where you are. But we don't always know that or act on that because we think that the time is now and the place is where I am, but I'm not equipped. I can't do all this. I don't know how. And we start thinking that we are, as Rumi said, you're not the doer. We start thinking that we're the doer instead of realizing that there's an infinite power and presence that moves through me and expresses as me. There's an infinite power and presence that moves through me, expresses as me, and it's always for me. Say that with me. There's an infinite power and presence that moves through me, expresses as me, and is always for me, and showing up in all ways for my good. Dr. Ernest Holmes said, above everything else, let's tune in to the comforting thought. Above everything else, let's tune into the comforting thought that there is a love in the universe that at its very presence dissolves all hate. A faith in God that neutralizes all fear. Confidence that brushes aside every doubt. This is who and whose we are. This allows us, as Holly Near says, to be open and willing and to say, lift me up to the light of change, because we're not alone. We are not alone. And what if it worked out better than you've ever even imagined, and all you had to do was use your intentional forecasting in the right direction? Use it in the direction of infinite possibilities, and you will see your life change. You will see the world around you change. That's the change business we are in. What if? What if?
If I knew that I could not fail, if I believed would the wind always fill up my sails, how far would I go, what could I achieve, trusting the hero in me? If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were to do what we secretly dream? What would you ask if you knew you could have anything? Like the mighty oak sleeps in the heart of a seed, are there miracles in you and me? You know there are. If I were brave, I'd walk the razor's edge, where true believers dare to tread, and never lose faith, even when losing my way. What step would I take today if I were brave?
divine love moving through me blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Thank you, God, for the good in my life. I just want to say thank you to each and every one of you giving your time, your talent, and your treasure to this community. It means a lot, and we are so grateful. And I know for each of you that as you give, you receive. So each financial gift returns multiplied abundantly. Each gift of love and of time and of connection returns multiplied abundantly as well. So we just take a moment to be in that energy of gratitude, in that energy of remembering God is our only source, in that energy of remembering that you are taken care of. I am taken care of. We are taken care of by the Spirit of love. You're being blessed. You are being blessed by. I am being blessed by. We are being blessed by the Spirit of love. Right now is another chance. Right now is another chance. Right now is another chance to live in abundance. Abundance of love, abundance of joy, abundance of harmony, abundance in all forms, abundance of money, abundance of health. You are taken care of. I am taken care of. We are taken care of by the Spirit of love. You are being blessed by. I am being blessed by. We are being blessed by the Spirit of love. Right now is another chance. Right now is another chance. Right now is another chance to live in abundance. I welcome the abundance. Thank you, God. Live in abundance. Breathe into the abundance. Live in abundance. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, God. Thank you, God. And so I'm so grateful for this truth. And I speak this word this morning. Yet again, saying thank you for each and every person giving of their time, their talent, and their treasure. I know that each and every person is blessed in the giving, for as we give, we also receive. Thank you, God. You are taken care of. I am taken care of. We are taken care of by the Spirit of love. And so it is, and so we let it be. Please join me in our closing song and just let the love wash over you. If you're new with us, the song is pretty simple. It allows you to really get into the feeling of it as we say, we let the love wash over us. We let it be. And then we claim some other things that we let wash over us. But here we go. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy, we let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace, we let we let it be. We love you. We bless you and we thank you. Tune in today at 1 o'clock via Zoom for Reverend Renee's workshop. Check out, you can register on our website, awakeningcarolina.org, to receive that Zoom link. Y'all have a great week. We love you.